Hi there, it's Nicole here today with a birthday card featuring the stamps and other components from the September 2017 Simon Says Stamp Card Kit Best Birthday. And like the name says, lots of the images and greetings in the card kit work for birthday cards. They could also work for other things if you switch up the greetings. I'm going to start with a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock because I want to color with Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, and I love how they go on so smooth on the Bristol Smooth cardstock. It is trimmed down to 4 inches by 5¼ inches, and I'm simply going to stamp that rainbow heart from the best ever stamp set included in the card kit over and over, all over the background, filling in everything with this stamp. I want to completely cover the background with this rainbow design stamp, and because I'm embossing white on white, I find it's easiest, so that I don't accidentally have any overlap, to go ahead and add embossing powder after each stamped image is stamped on the paper. It's a little more tedious this way. You can't just stamp everything and then apply your embossing powder all at once. But I have found that invariably I kind of accidentally overlap my images or something like that. And so this just works the best. I am not heat embossing any of the images until I'm completely done, and then I will heat emboss them all at once. I love this rainbow heart image. There is also a fantastic rainbow in the stamp set that I can't wait to use for some cards, but I think this is just a really unique and fun image and fantastic for so many different occasions, and just really, really fun. If you love rainbows like I love rainbows, then this is just a really fantastic stamp set, card kit, and just a really fun design in general. So I'm going to keep moving my heat gun around, heat embossing all of these images. I like to flip my paper over kind of back and forth, making sure everything is filled or everything gets heated and embossed, but also trying to keep that paper as flat as possible. It tends to want to bow up with the heat embossing, so by hitting the back of the paper, that kind of helps keep it a little bit flatter. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I want to color with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I have a swatch book, so I went through that and I have my Zigs swatched, the ones I have, so that I know what the colors look like, either straight colored onto cardstock, or like I'm going to do here, also what they look like when water's added to them. And this is my personal favorite. It's part of the reason I embossed these images to begin with. The embossed areas help hold the watercolor in place. I am taking the markers I've chosen and I'm only laying down a portion of the color through each stripe in these heart rainbows. The colors I'm using are all listed across or along the left side of the screen here in the rainbow order I'm using. So if at any time you're curious exactly which color it is, there is the little guide. And I made sure there are multiple colors or shades in some colors. Blue has 3, purple 2, green has 2, and then there's the pink and the red. So, and then of course orange and yellow as well. But some of them have multiple shades per color family. Then with a water brush pen, you could also use a paintbrush dipped in water. I'm going to start watercoloring each of these colors out, and that's simply pulling the color from where I laid it down on the design and pulling it across to the other side of the rainbow. It gives a fantastic watercolored look, but it's so much more controlled with that embossed outline. I make sure and clean the tip of my brush after I color each section so I don't cross-contaminate. I'm just using a paper towel and kind of wiping it off quickly. You'd want to do the same thing if you're using a paintbrush dipped in water. I love the water brush pen You get a ton of control with it, I think. You could even use it without water in the barrel if you want to just simply dip the tip in water and then paint that way. It will give you even more control. You don't have to worry about maybe too much water coming out. But I really love this because I don't have to have extra water anywhere. The water is in the pen itself. Another thing I did with my coloring is I did not do the same order on all the hearts. I mixed it up. It's the same order over and over, but I'm switching which color comes first, if that makes sense. It just adds a little additional interest to the design. I also thought when I originally did this that I would color in all the hearts and then go back and take a very light, soft haze blue or shadow mauve, those are my two favorite colors with the zig markers, and color in the whole background around all of these hearts. I found after I colored all of them in that I really didn't feel like I needed to do that. I really liked the white background, especially when I knew I was going to be stamping and embossing a greeting on black. So I went ahead and left it white with just these beautiful watercolored rainbow hearts. Now I am going to do all of these exactly the same. I am not going to do all of these on camera simply because it takes so much time. I did watercolor all of these, let it dry completely, air dry, and then I'm taking some black cardstock, die cutting a rectangle using a stitched rectangle die from the Simon Says Stamp exclusive die collection. This is die cut from some black licorice cardstock. And I'm going to take a combination of stamps from that Best Ever stamp set and stamp them on this rectangle. And I'm going to do kind of a collage type of greeting. So this little phrase here, which is so super cute and fun, I absolutely love this particular greeting. We'll go ahead and stamp that. Stamp a birthday candle next to it. And finally finish with the happy birthday. And then sprinkle on that white embossing powder and heat set the whole thing with the embossing tool. So birthdays are for fun friends. I just think it's cute. Clean that up. For fun friends and eating your weight in cake. Frosting, yum. I just think that's super cute. So collaged like this, you can use them really fun. I'm going to position it along the right edge of the card, raising it up with a little foam adhesive. I think that helps it pop off the background a little bit. I'm going to adhere my panel to a white top fold card base. Go ahead and add a couple of strips of the Scotch foam adhesive first to the back of this black cardstock greeting rectangle. You could position this anywhere you want. Lately, I've really been liking things kind of in the lower third of the card, along the right side for whatever reason. But because there's not a lot of anything else going on in the background, it really needs a little something else, I think. Because I chose not to add any color around the hearts, I think it needs some enamel dots, some bling of some sort, or right from the card kit, there are these awesome heart sprinkles. I'm going to just add a scattering, of these throughout the whole card design. So in all those little white spaces, I'm going to add these little solid hearts, and that finishes off the background perfectly. So just kind of try to figure out a great place for all of these. Make sure I get it all filled in, that none of them are too close together. And even add one right to the greeting rectangle. They're kind of that little open space in the bottom right corner. I moved a couple of them around because they didn't quite work where I tried to keep putting them. Once that's done, my card is all finished, but I thought it would be fun to stamp a coordinating envelope. And on the back flap of a blue-violet envelope, these are some of the Simon Says Stamp exclusive envelopes, I'm going to take 2 of the border greetings from that Best Ever stamp set and stamp those, the happy birthday and then the row of hearts, right along that back flap. Using a powder tool first to help keep the embossing powder sticking only to the area that's stamped. But this perfectly coordinates the envelope with the card. It adds a great finishing touch. You could even stamp some of the other images on the front if you wanted to of the envelope. I'm going to go ahead and open that up, sprinkle my white embossing powder on the flap of this envelope. I absolutely love the Simon Says Stamp envelopes. They have that great kind of square back on them. They come in a lot of beautiful colors, and I can't say enough good things about them. They are my favorite envelopes. I'm going to heat set those greetings along the back flap to finish up my card design. And that is going to finish up this rainbow heart watercolored birthday card with matching envelope. Thanks for joining me today for this card and envelope featuring the Simon Says Stamp September Best Birthday Card Kit. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Simon Says stamps and dies that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.